Abel Sanchez, trainer of Gennady Golovkin, the best middleweight in the world, and I am hooked on boxing. Depending on how long yours goes.
Okay, so what's the daily routine for Gennady Golovkin?
Actually, we get up at, we meet at 7 o'clock in the gym, and we stretch about 15 minutes. We take off on a run. Depending on what day it is, I decide how long they're going to run and how steady they're going to run. They come back to the gym probably about 8 o'clock, and they do their sit-ups and stretching. They go up and have breakfast. Generally by 9:30 they're in bed until he trains. He trains at 3 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
And at 3 o'clock he goes down to the gym and starts his work.
So what's his meal plan like?
You know, I've always been a believer that they have to eat what they're accustomed to eating. I'm not going to have a Russian guy eat Mexican food or a Mexican guy eat Russian food. There's a reason why Gennady is successful, and he's successful because he's eaten what was at home, what was available. No, I don't like for them to have any soft drinks. I don't like for them to have too much starch, too much sugars, potatoes, fattening stuff like that, breads. But we make a meal plan, not so much a meal plan, but of the things that are not, that I don't condone or would not like for them to be eating. But they're big boys. He's 33 years old. I think he understands that this fight is a very, very important fight for him. He understands the last fight was very important. So he has to take care of himself. He has to understand that this is for him and not for me.
Okay. I actually asked Tom earlier about his age. You know, Gennady Golovkin, despite being 33, many people say that he fights like he's in his early 30s, his early 20s, I'm sorry, like he fights in his prime. Has his age ever bothered him due to, has the idea of retirement ever loomed over his head?
I don't think he thinks about that. I think we think about that more than he does.
Okay.
We understand that this period of youth, let's just say, is only going to be around 3 or 4 more years. So we have to maximize that time. In Tom's case, he has to make sure that he gets not only the biggest fights, the best opportunities for him in the ring. For me, is to make sure that I understand that he is 33 years old and I can't work him like an 18-year-old. I have to work him in a manner that I can save as much of him for the fights as possible. But I think that so far we've had a great union in management and promotion and training that he's done very well because of that.
Yeah, so, you know, Lemieux's obviously younger than Gennady. Does Gennady think about that? Is he concerned that he's going against a younger fighter?
No. When they step through the ropes, youth really has very little to do with it in this age bracket. If he was 45 years old or 42, 43 years old, then yes, maybe it would matter. But I think Gennady's still in his prime. The other boy is coming into his prime. The other boy's on a great roll. He's a world champion. So mentally, he's got a lot to work for and a lot to fight for. But they're really in the same age bracket, boxing-wise.
Is there something that Gennady feels like he should improve more on, or?
We all believe that he needs to improve in every facet of his game. The minute that you stop learning is the day that you should retire, because there's somebody out there always improving themselves. Every training camp that we have with Gennady, we're always trying to do something different, trying to sharpen different things up so that 3 or 4 fights from now he'll be a better fighter.
I actually remember during an interview, someone asked Gennady if he lifts weights due to his size, but he says he's never lifted anything larger than a spoon. How true is that?
Well, we do some kind of weight training, but it's not like you would think. It's not lifting weights. We do strength and conditioning with probably the maximum weight is 5 pounds. So he is strong because of the reps that we do and how we do it. It's a system that I developed 30 years ago with Terry Norris and some of the guys before him. It's a system that is not done in a lot of places. But I've never had a strength and conditioning coach. I am the strength and conditioning coach. I am the boxing coach. I am the nutritionist. So it's something that is old-fashioned, but it's worked so far for us.
How often does Gennady train?
He trains 5 days a week, and on Saturday he runs or he shadow boxes. Not only Gennady, but all my guys. They only train 5 days a week.
You know, Gennady is considered to be the most feared boxer in the world right now. But because of that, many boxers did not want to go against him, and it was really difficult due to his age. How has that affected him at all?
It hasn't. I think that the first fight that Tom got us on HBO and on the American market was September 1st of 2012. So in 3.5 years, we've accomplished what it takes most guys 10 years to accomplish. Gennady's at the top of his game. Gennady's on top of the world. Gennady's the best fighter in the world. Gennady's the most recognized fighter in the world right now. And it only took 3.5 years to do that. So I think that he understands that. So he's not frustrated. He doesn't think about that. He just thinks about the next fight. Right now, Lemieux is what's in front of him.
Fans said that the Lemieux fight was actually a pleasant surprise. Is there anything in the game plan that you had to change for Gennady in order to go against Lemieux, or is the game plan the same, or is there anything in particular that you want to attack Lemieux with?
I've always been the kind of coach that believes that I have to have my guy prepared to be 100% Gennady, and the other guy is going to have to adapt to us. If I start changing Gennady to adapt or to try to fight like the other guy fights, let's just say, then Gennady's won't be 100%. So my ideas have always been that if my guy is at 100% who he can be, then we're going to do well. If we don't do well, then that means we got work to do. But we have to go in there at 100%.
You said that Gennady runs. How often does he run? How long does he run?
He runs 6 days a week.
6 days a week.
On 5 days during the week, on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we run distance. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, we run sprints. On Saturday, we run 5 miles.
You know, a lot of fans say that Gennady's punching power is just out of this world. But as his coach, what do you think is his specialty? What's so special about him?
I think it's his acute sense of timing and distance and reading of an opponent. He's such a smart fighter inside the ring that he knows what you're going to do before you know what you're going to do. And I think that goes back to not only 350 amateur fights, but a Kazakhstani amateur program that develops very good fighters, not only back then, but even today. They're doing a fantastic job with their young kids over there.
You know, with Mayweather supposedly retiring and, Pacquiao obviously getting more involved in politics in the Philippines, so retirement for Pacquiao is looming close. But Gennady Golovkin is considered to be the next face of boxing. Does he feel any pressure about that?
No, we're fortunate that the fans and the media consider him that. I think that his biggest concern is just making sure that he pleases the fans on the next date that he fights, and that he gives the fans what they pay for, and that everybody is satisfied with his performance. I don't think he thinks, in fact, we don't think about that. If the fans consider him there, great. We'll take whatever the fans give us, but we have to make sure that they're satisfied with our performance.
There was an interview way back in the day where Gennady Golovkin called his opponent a good boy.
Gennady Golovkin called his opponent what?
A good boy.
At that time, his English was so limited that all he was trying to say was that the guy was a good fighter. Nothing derogatory. It's just that the guy was a good fighter. The guy put up a good fight, but his English is getting better. But for some reason, that catchphrase. Catchphrase caught on, and it's something that people keep saying, but he meant nothing by it in a mean way. All he was saying was that the guy was a good fighter.
Definitely. It's kind of ironic because Gennady, that's his moniker now. Everyone calls him the good boy.
Yeah.
And everybody goes to the drama show.
If that's what it takes for people to remember him, great.
Obviously Gennady's biggest goal right now is to unify the middleweight division. If he does that, if he accomplishes that, what's the next step? What does he want to do next?
We'll have to take one step at a time. We'll have to take one step at a time and get that one done. We still have, hopefully Tom puts those things together, and in the next year he has all 4 belts, and once he does that, then we'll think about what happens next.
I actually asked Tom earlier if Gennady, obviously because he focuses 100% on his next fight, but considering that whoever's the winner of this fight gets to fight Canelo or Cotto, has he thought about that? Has he thought about his game plan for that fight, or is he just focused on Lemieux right now?
No, Gennady is concentrating on Lemieux, and once Lemieux is over with, and Tom and the management will tell us what's happening with that situation. But until then, there's no reason to even think about it. If we don't win this one, doesn't matter who wins the next one.
Again, as previously mentioned, Gennady going against Lemieux was a pleasant surprise. How was it for you to hear the news that the fight actually went through?
I'm surprised that Oscar put Lemieux in, but that's okay. That's the next one in line, and it's good for the fans. It's good for me as a coach because I have a challenge. It's good for Gennady because he has a challenge, but most of all, it's good for boxing.
Definitely. What do you think right now is, again, after Gennady gets the middleweight division, you said it's one step at a time. Does he have any plans of anything else besides that? Does he want to take, the route like Ronda Rousey has, dabble in, taking on film roles and all that, or?
The Lemieux is next. Hopefully Tom has and the management team have something set up for another title after that, and by the middle of next year, the end of next year, we have 4 belts. Then we'll talk about any of those things. Right now, what's important for him is just to stay in the ring, stay busy, and unify the middleweight division.